Hi guys, welcome back to Ode to Enders. It's been a long time. I've been very busy with the other channel. I'm sure a lot of you are aware that I have a gaming channel, but for those of you that don't, I've been really busy with the release of Battlefield 6, and that's really taken up quite a bit of my time. I haven't been able to record these videos, but today's video, I'll just be going through some of my favorite perfume discoveries of 2025. I have 15 here for you to talk about, and I guess let's get right into it. So when it comes to 2025, it really was a massive year of discovery. I sort of tried to speed run perfume, which maybe I'll get into a little bit later why perhaps 2026 is going to be the opposite of 2025. I'm going to slow way down. But I discovered so many new brands. I rediscovered brands that I sampled a little bit too early, and now my taste is completely different. So I had to go back and sort of reassess. Before I go over the individual fragrances or the first one, I want to give a shout out to awesome perfume channels that I've watched throughout the year. They'll all be linked in the description. These are great, real fragrance enthusiasts. Shout out to Sense for Thought, Daniel from Seldomly Often, The Sentinel, Pep, Rich Mitch, and Ramsey. Hopefully, he'll be coming back. All those awesome channels are linked in the description. The first perfume I'm going to talk about that really kicked off 2025 for me was this. This is Tom Ford Beau de Jour. Now, this is a private label bottle of Tom Ford Beau de Jour. They, as Tom Ford often does, they discontinued Beau de Jour in this bottle, and they moved it into their signature line. And typically when that happens, people get really suspect about changes in the scent, reformulations, all that sort of thing. I had the signature line bottle, which looks different. It's sort of just like a ribbed glass round bottle. And I ended up selling the signature version because there was just something off about it. But I loved the idea of it. This is a sort of a retro smelling, masculine sort of powerhouse Fougere fragrance, sort of 80s-ish. It's got a really awesome patchouli note. It's got an amazing lavender note. It's a little spicy. It's creamy. It's just fantastic. This is an all-time Fougere for me. But the signature line didn't do it, so I decided to buy the private label bottle. After I heard Rich Mitch talk about it so much, how this version's so much better, and I saw a good deal come up. And yeah, I have to say, in my opinion, from owning both, Rich Mitch is absolutely correct. This version of Beau de Jour is just absolutely outstanding. It's one of the few Fougere fragrances that really does last. It has so much depth. Every time that I wear it, I discover something new about it. And it really is sort of a like Daniel from Seldomly Often. If you watch his channel, he talks about fragrances somehow being comically masculine or cartoonishly masculine. This really does hark back to maybe a way more rugged interpretation of masculinity and fragrance, and it's just absolutely beautiful. The lavender in it is like more of an herbal sort of lavender, but the blend is just amazing. The way everything comes together, the full composition, it's just outstanding. Next up, I want to talk about a recent acquisition just before the new year. This is from a brand that I rediscovered in 2025. This is Serge Lutens. This is a completely different fragrance from what I typically like. But when I sampled it, it completely blew me away. And it is Serge Lutens, not sure if you can see that, Tuberose Criminal. Literally translates to criminal tuberose. Now, this is a tuberose fragrance, but not in your traditional way. This is a very different take on tuberose. Typically, I hate tuberose. I really can't stand it. It's one of those floral notes that it's too feminine. I can't do it. But this is a crazy take on tuberose. This is a very mentholic, green, minty tuberose. Like it has so much texture in the opening. For whatever reason, it makes me think of TV static. The sort of texture in the opening with the minty opening with the fuzzy sort of heavy white floral tuberose. But it just works, and I don't know why it works. But Christopher Sheldrake is a genius. I got this for a great deal. I don't know if you could see that, but it has a misprint on the label right here. It doesn't say Serge Lutens, it says Serge Ayutens. I mean, go figure. I got this for a great price as a result. Unfortunately, Serge Lutens, as of right now, they don't ship to the United States due to like some weird customs law that changed. And Serge Lutens pulled out of the United States anyway, I think over 4 years ago at this point. So any stock of Serge Lutens that's in the United States, that's pretty much it. So I was very lucky to get a hold of this. This is in their Graziel bottles. They're called, I think some people call them skyscraper bottles. They're beautiful. They're kind of polarizing to people though. Some people don't like it. I happen to love it. I think it's so Serge Lutens. The aesthetic of the brand just totally fits this. So Tuberose Criminal, still getting to know it, but really just a standout for me because of how different it is from what I typically like. Next, we're going to do some really challenging fragrances for me. 2025 was really a year of sort of trying to challenge myself to understand why people would like smelling like Barnyard Oud or smelling like Interlude, that really heavy, dark smoke scent profile. And I sort of gave it away. One of the other great discoveries of 2025 for me was rediscovering the Amouage Interlude line. I tried all three of them again, the original Interlude, Interlude Black Iris, which is a little bit different, and Interlude 53. 53 for me is the king of this DNA. Some people disagree because I suppose some of the Amouage enthusiasts think the original has a stronger oregano note in the opening, but in general, if you don't know what Interlude is, this is basically a very in-your-face, very strong fragrance. It is dark, it's resinous, it's a full commitment. You wear this, you're not getting rid of it for the whole day. You better be ready for 15 to 18 hours of wear, easy. And it is room filling in my experience. When I spray this on, basically the room smells like it until 6 or 7 hours later. God damn it, I said 6, 7. But it really does last that long in the air. Early on, I found Interlude a little bit challenging because it was just so harsh. But my taste really changed, came back to it, and in the air, Interlude 53, and really all the interludes are just absolutely majestic. It has this sort of wispy, dark smoke feel, but in this elegant way. You wouldn't really think that something this dark, something this strong would be that elegant, but it really does come off that way. And especially in the colder months like we're in right now, when it's, negative 20-degree wind chill outside, this in the air is just, it's mesmerizing. It's one of the most meditative fragrance in my collection. Sometimes I put it on at night or just spray something on my arm while I'm working on another video or I'm doing something, and you just constantly get wafts of it as you move. It's beautiful. So if you haven't tried Interlude, give it a shot. It's one of those fragrances that I think you really have to give it time. You can't just jump into it like I did early on. It does take a little bit of a more, maybe a mature nose or experienced nose, if that makes sense. Now, something else that really takes an experienced nose and probably some acquired tastes. This is The Night by Frederic Malle. Perfume enthusiasts will know that, yeah, you know what this is. This is a very animalic, stinky, sort of cheesy oud, but it's an oud rose. I got this for an absolute steal, about as good of a price as you're ever going to get it for. For those that are not aware, this retails for, I think, $2,000. Never going to pay that, but I did get a great deal. This is probably one of the most beautiful rose ouds I've ever put my nose on. And rose oud fragrances are everywhere nowadays. It's very, very popular for brands to put them out, but it's rare to get the combination of a very, very talented master perfumer like Dominique Ropion with real oud, great quality materials, and that's what The Night is. It is basically a rose oud done by a master perfumer. And I mean, the opening is brutal. It's like cheesy animalic oud for at least an hour. Some people are just gonna hate it. I completely understand it. It's a very acquired taste. But I don't know. I just love it. It just comes off as supremely elegant. I don't know why I think that, but I would totally wear this to like a black tie event, even though I might choke people out. I had some people in this perfume group say that this might be reformulated and that it's not a beast. Oh, it's a beast. It fills the room for a long time. I've had people mention that it's filling like the whole house. It's filling the room. So, it basically becomes Portrait of a Lady with smoky oud in the dry down. If you're familiar with Portrait of a Lady from Frederic Malle, because Dominic Ropion perfumed Portrait of a Lady and The Night, it definitely has that same rose note in it. But the rose is full bodied. It's sort of a pink smelling rose. It's got a real rounded feel to it underneath that really heavy dose of, I think it's Thai oud, the cheesy Thai oud in the opening. So the Night, another challenging fragrance that I came around to in 2025. Um, Only gonna wear it in cold weather though, not one for summer. Now, moving on to maybe my favorite pickup of 2025, the favorite perfume that I bought. This is a fragrance that I never thought I would ever get my hands on because it is long discontinued. The resale prices are outrageous, and everyone that is an Amouage fan wants it. So some of you are probably already guessing what it is. Comment down below. I want to see if some of you guess it right. This is none other than Bracken Man. And what can I even say about that? Bracken Man is probably one of the greatest Fougeres ever made. I do not understand why Amouage discontinued it. I was very lucky to pick this bottle up for retail. It has the name on the side there, name on the collar as well. This is pretty much, in my opinion, the only Fougere I've ever experienced that actually lasts all day. It's just amazing. It's this heavy, clovey, spicy Fougere with that, familiar Fougere feel, but it's still somehow so unique. And I blind bought this. I mean, I got a great deal on it. I could not pass it up. I have the original box and everything. So happy to have this. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be getting a backup bottle anytime soon. But if you like cloves, if you like that sort of woody, dry, spicy clove feel, get yourself a decant of this if you can find it. Get yourself a bottle if you can find it as well. I mean, Amouage doesn't do bottles like it's just absolutely beautiful. The Amouage snobs I apparently shit on this when it released. More for me, I guess. Next up, I want to cover my most unconventional pickup of 2025. And I wanted something to wear in the summer that wasn't your typical citrus fragrance, wasn't your typical floral, blue fragrance. So I bought Luca Turin's book, Perfume, The Guide A to Z, or whatever I think it's called, where he rates a bunch of fragrances. And I wanted to look at his top 10 list just to see what he would include in his best sort of summer fragrance lists. And this came up. This is Hermès Osmanth Yunnan. This is a very interesting fragrance. So it was released, I think, in 2005, perfumed by Jean-Claude Ellena when he was still at Hermès. And this is an absolutely beautiful osmanthus fragrance. But it's just looking at the notes really doesn't do it justice. So first of all, the first thing to know about this fragrance is that it's very soft, very understated, it's quiet, which is why it's okay to wear in summer, even though it's pretty leather forward. Osmanthus can come off leathery, but it's way more than that. It has this beautiful fruity apricot-y undertone with that soft, sort of smooth suede leather and this beautiful, almost lactonic leaning milky tea note. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I never thought I would like something like this because I never really thought to wear leather in summer, but this is really one to stand out for. I think this is one of the best Hermescence line that they make. I like Ambre Narguilé, I also like Vetiver Tonka, but people never talk about Osmanth Yunnan. If you've never given this one a try, I would highly recommend it. Fantastic fragrance. You can wear it all seasons, but I'm going to wear it in the summer. All right, now moving on to 3 fragrances from my favorite brand of 2025. And it is none other than Parfum d'Empire. This is Amour Les Oranges, and for citrus fragrances, my favorite citrus note by far is just a really well done orange fragrance, or maybe like a tangerine leaning fragrance. And a lot of the ones that I tried come off as synthetic or too sweet, but Parfum d'Empire, Amour Les Oranges, is just, I mean, the most photorealistic, rindy orange citrus with this beautiful green leading, maybe slightly woody base. And it just comes off so ethereal in the air, so airy, but you still get that orange feel. It still feels like you're sort of digging your nail into the peel of an orange and you're getting that, blast of citrus that comes in the air. It has pretty good longevity if you overspray it. It's absolutely phenomenal. So if you're looking for a citrus fragrance that's sort of off the beaten path of what you typically find, definitely try Parfum d'Empire Amour les Oranges. Moving on, another fragrance that completely blew me away, also kind of off the beaten path, was Un Bel Amour d'été by Parfum d'Empire. This is the most head-turning, heady, white floral concoction. I mean, it is just tropical gardenia, frangipani, champaka, and it really is, oh my god, it really is just absolutely outstanding. This is one of my girlfriend's favorites. She wears it. I wear it because it just is so, it just smells so good. Um, it does remind me of a Nicotel Songe, if you're familiar with that. Has the same sort of feel, but I think this might be better than Songe. I know that's sacrilegious maybe for some people watching this video that are real like frag heads, but if you have not tried this and you love white florals, if you love heady, really like thick, dense floral fragrances, you really need to try Une Belle Amour d'été by Parfum d'Empire. And then, I believe a late 2025 release from Parfum d'Empire that I had a hell of a time getting my hands on, especially in the United States. This is their newly released Madagascar Le Bonvenue. This is Marc-Antoine Corticchiato, again, just blowing us away. For those who don't know, he's the perfumer of the brand. This is a vanilla fragrance. And for this vanilla fragrance to be unique and really stand on its own against the hundreds and hundreds of vanilla releases of 2025 and years prior, that is very difficult to do, but he still managed to do it. And that is why Parfum d'Empire is just such an amazing brand. I own Vanille Havane, which is a boozy vanilla, which this is a boozy vanilla. So I was worried that it might be redundant, but I just went ahead, blind bought the full bottle, and to my surprise, they're both boozy vanillas, but they're completely different. This, when you first spray it, you get hit with the most realistic, almost bitter alcohol boozy note that lasts for probably about 40 minutes to an hour. And there are 3 different types of vanilla in this fragrance, so you really get all the facets. After that boozy note dries down a little bit, you start getting hit with some of the woody facets of vanilla, some of the more gourmand confectionery facets of vanilla. You get hit with this beautiful bitter cacao note. It's just such a transitioning, unique, it's just excellent. And I'm really impressed because I just don't understand how he can't miss. Marc-Antoine Corticchiato at Parfum d'Empire just can't miss. If you haven't sampled Parfum d'Empire, I'll link them in the description or something. Probably next to Serge Lutens and Amouage, the brands that if you haven't tried, you should really put them on your list. So that's my favorite brand of 2025. Now, continuing the trend of me liking old man fragrances or traditional masculine fragrances, one of my favorite fragrances from this year was from Chanel, and it is none other than the pillar of masculine fragrance, which is Chanel Antaeus. Antaeus is a funny story. So I drove quite a long way to get this fragrance. There is a Chanel boutique near me, but I do have to drive quite a bit. And I walked in there just knowing I was going to buy Antaeus. I'm, as young as I am, I'm like 27. I walk in there and she looks at me, the sales associate, and I go, "Do you have any bottles of Antaeus?" And she's like, "The black bottle? Like, you want to buy Antaeus?" I was like, "Yes, I would like to buy Antaeus if you have it in stock." They told me at that boutique that they sell maybe 5 bottles of Antaeus per year, and that I was one of the 5. So it really is a shame because Antaeus is a modern masterpiece. This is, oh my god. I mean, this is masculinity in a bottle. If you want to smell like the fucking boss, all right, Antaeus really sets that up. It's dirty, it's unapologetic. It's so 80s. It's so aromatic with that sort of sagey opening with this castoreum, leather, oak moss combo. There's a beautiful rose note in there. It just wears like a I am the boss fragrance. But it's amazing because Chanel, they can make a fragrance like this, but it still comes off as elegant. I mean, go figure. I really don't know how they do it. Chanel really does have that elegance running through the entire DNA of really everything they've ever made that I've personally experienced. And they still managed to do it with something as retro and as classic as Antaeus. The modern formulation apparently isn't as animalic. It's not as, stinky in some ways, but the modern formulation is still absolutely phenomenal. Probably one of the best fragrances on the market today still, even though it was released in, I believe, 1981. So, yeah, pretty old fragrance, but still amazing. Now, entering a category called Don't Be Afraid category. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, this is a women's fragrance, or at least it's marketed as a women's fragrance. This is Amouage Memoir Woman. Oh, this isn't a women's fragrance. This is definitely unisex. And what I mean by don't be afraid is don't be afraid by what people call fragrances, or what category they put them in. People call this feminine, people call something masculine. It doesn't matter. You should try it and you should wear it if you love it. This is something that, in my opinion, Cruella de Vil would wear. This gives me like vampire ballroom vibes. It might sound weird, but the whole aesthetic of the bottle, the way it's so black and just so like monochromatic, it really fits the scent profile. This is a Chypre, but it's like no Chypre I've ever smelled. It has this very strong wood, like warm, woody absinthe, boozy, alcoholic note up top, but underneath it, there's this underlying resinous, smoky, dark aspect with a slight hit of something fruity that I can't put my nose on. And it does get a little incensey, a little mossy, maybe a little ambery in the dry down. It is like nothing I've ever smelled in my whole life. It is so potent. It is ridiculously potent. You need to be very careful with where you wear this. But overall, one of my favorite discoveries of the year, just because I was ignoring the Amouage women's line, and I could have included 4 from the women's line of Amouage here. I also have Epic 56, I have Overture Woman on the way, and I have Amouage Lineage on the way. All of those are in the women's style Amouage bottles, but all of them are beautifully unisex. So don't be afraid to try these women marketed fragrances. They're fantastic, and you're missing out. This category is going to be my favorite all-rounder scent from 2025, and it's none other than Ormond Jane, Ormond Man. This is a woody sort of coniferous fragrance. You can wear this anywhere, and the thing that makes this special for me is just how unique it is in the way that it's woody. It has this sort of hemlock note that I've never seen anywhere else in any other fragrance. And it really does give this fragrance a more sort of a piney, coniferous, almost resinous feel, but it doesn't go into the heavy resins of something like maybe Arso or from Aroma. It still has this airy, ethereal quality about it that Ormond Jane fragrances really tend to have. And I think you can wear this any season, any occasion, any age. No one's going to bat an eye. So that's Ormond Man from Ormond Jane. You could wear this to the office. It would be killer in the office, really. So if some of you guys work and you're looking for a fragrance, consider this one, especially for a good price. All right, now on to the favorite fragrance of 2025 from a brand that I already loved before this year. I know it's like a weird way to start it, but I love Les Indomables. And this year they released their Immortelle fragrance called Immortelle Solaire. I love Immortelle. I have Sunshine Man from Amouage. I have Au Noir from Dior. I want to get Sables from Anicotal, but this is a really amazing take on Immortelle. It's so something to know about Immortelle. It's I believe it's a floral note, or it's like a bush. It's like a giant bush that grows like in Corsica and other parts of Europe. Um, it can kind of smell like curry to a lot of people. I know Mo from Sense for Thoughts, he really gets the curry aspect of Immortelle. But for me, this is fall in a bottle. It has that beautiful sort of spicy, resinous fall feel. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's golden. It is a golden smell. That's a good way to describe it. Immortelle Solaire, though, it has this beautiful juxtaposition of the Immortelle with these sort of candied fruit top notes and licorice. So you get this spicy licorice against this sort of golden ambery Immortelle, and it's sweetened by these dark fruit notes. It's just outrageously good. And a note that I discovered on this bottle compared to my other Lesson de Modales bottles is if you look at the atomizer, they put new atomizers on these bottles. These are now pressurized atomizers. My old bottles from Lesson de Modales, they just have like normal sprayers. So if you're looking to buy from Lesson de Modales and you're wondering about the atomizers, they might be new nowadays. But Immortelle Solaire, if you want a great fall fragrance, really give this one a try. It is absolutely spectacular. All right, on to the final section of this video, my favorite perfume of 2025. This was almost impossible. I don't know how these YouTubers do it. I picked up so many perfumes in 2025, and I don't buy anything unless I love it. So these are the two loves out of all the other loves, if that makes sense. First, I'm going to talk about a brand new brand to me that I discovered this year. It's called Nila Vermeer, and this is Try. Where do I even begin? I mean, first of all, let's start with the presentation before I tell you about the brand. The presentation here, it is probably the most beautiful bottle in my collection. It reminds me of something Guerlain would do with their extrays back in the day. You know how they're crystal bottles with the elaborate presentation, the beautiful. It's just beautiful, right? It's heavy as shit. I don't know what this is made of. This might not even be regular glass. This might be actual like crystal or something. The cap is heavy and metal. Outstanding presentation, but in terms of the brand itself, Nila Vermeer is a niche brand. All of their perfumes, I believe, are perfumed by Bertrand Duchefort. Bertrand Duchefort, for those who don't know, they call him the magician. Okay, that's how some people refer to him. He is a beloved perfumer for many people. He's made masterpieces such as Amouage Jubilation 25. So when I heard all of the perfumes from Nila Vermeer were made by him, I had to sample it, and Try just absolutely blew me away. If I had to describe Try in a single sentence, I would describe it as a floral, gourmand-leaning, but not quite, sandalwood with some spices. So a spicy, floral, slightly gourmand-leaning sandalwood. The quality is just amazing. Real sandalwood oil. Just you can just tell it's high quality. As soon as first smell, it's like, whoa, this is something different. And the other thing with it, it's so complicated that I'm gonna have a hard time describing it. An initial spray, you get these dry spices, but the sandalwood hits you from the beginning as well. So you're getting hit with creamy sandalwood, dry spices. There's some cardamom, I believe. I believe there's some cinnamon. But it doesn't come off as like syrupy. It doesn't come off as confectionery cinnamon, if that makes sense. It's like if you were to smell real cinnamon, it's sort of that dry, granular texture to it in the opening. Then it fades into this beautiful floral heart with that sandalwood base. And then the dry down is just the most serene, tranquil, slightly gourmand in nature, creamy sandalwood. It is outstanding. So if you love sandalwood, this is pricey, but this might be your all-time favorite sandalwood. Give Nila Vermeer Try a try. No pun intended. The second favorite perfume pickup of 2025 for me, this was something I didn't know I would like. And I learned about this brand from Daniel from the channel Seldomly Often. This is Oud Indochine by the brand Maxime Perfumes. Maxime Perfumes is an interesting brand because it's an artisanal brand. I mean, look at the color of this liquid here. It's almost like red, right? When you see some liquid like this and it's not dyed, like fake color, you know you're dealing with some like artisanal shit, okay? At least that's what I've come to learn. Maxim Bortnikov is the son of Dmitry Bortnikov, who is the brand owner of Bortnikov, a very well-known artisanal brand that deals with a lot of ouds, and his son decided to start up his own brand. And wow, I mean, he has really made some critically acclaimed stuff already. Luca Turin loved this as well. If you don't know who Luca Turin is, He's a pretty well-known perfume critic, and he's kind of harsh. So for him to love this, I mean, to me, it does speak some volumes. What is Oud Indochine, though? If I had to describe Oud Indochine, it is a slightly gourmand-leaning oud fragrance, but the combination of how it's done is just amazing. It's this super dark, rich, slightly bitter cacao note mixed with, again, this super resinous, woody, deep, dark oud that's not animalic. It's a woodier oud. It's not really a skanky oud like in the night that I talked about earlier. Um, and the combination of the cacao with the woodiness is just amazing. It's absolutely nuclear. And you cannot spray this on clothes. I mean, again, the color of this stuff, you cannot get this on clothing. You'll have to throw your clothes out. Projection is monstrous. Longevity is monstrous. You really get your money worth with this. Now, speaking of money, I think it's $400 for, what is this? I think it's 50 ml. Not cheap, but this will last you so long that it is almost worth it just with the strength of it. But it is sort of an acquired taste. And just as a general closing thought, um, perfume for me has really become one of my favorite things. I didn't really think it would ever be one of those things that I would love, getting into it. I've always been around perfume in my life. My dad always wears it. Some other family members always wear it. But I don't know, I just never thought I would really get into it like I am right now. And it's been so rewarding. I love sampling everything. I love, sharing it with you guys. And, hey, maybe sample some things for yourself. So you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments section what your favorites were. Maybe if you tried anything from this video, or if you have your own list, let me know as well. Subscribe to the channel. I will try to get more videos out on this channel. I'm very busy, but I will certainly try. Turn notifications on, sub to the channel, hit the like button, and check out all the channels I linked in the description. Daniel, Sense for Thoughts, Centennial. They're all phenomenal people, phenomenal channels, and they, in my opinion, deserve more of a spotlight. So appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one.